Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another goal making video. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can easily make 300k plus per month in order to play WoW, basically for free, aka afford a WoW token every single month. Now before I get started, I do want to say one thing about the title and what I'm going to be saying in this video. Yes, I deem this method or these methods as easy due to the fact that they are simple tasks that you have to complete. However, you do still have to play at least about 2 hours a day or 1.5 hours in order to maintain your goal with some of these methods. So yes, they are quote unquote easy, but if you do not want to put the time commitment into this, this will not be for you. But this video is deemed for beginners, anybody who is starting out from scratch, trying to make gold, trying to play WoW for free. This is for you as long as you want to put some time into it. Secondly, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I have a video about this same type of topic. I made it very early into Shadowlands, so this is going to be a more updated one, especially right now due to the fact that WoW tokens once again are on the rise in terms of price, and sales are going down right now due to the fact that it's kind of that lingering time between patches, so a lot of people are taking breaks. So with those two disadvantages in mind, we're going to get right into this video. But of course, this video is going to be more of a breakdown with visuals on the screen. If you guys want to see real-world examples from a previous video that I did on this same topic, I will leave that linked down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. So, a WoW token per month can be super scary, especially if you are somebody who has either just came to the game or you're somebody who does like every single other thing in the game besides gold making. So 300k can seem like a lot of gold, definitely only in a month, but breaking it down, it actually is less scary than it seems. You know, every single month there's an average of about 30 days, which brings us, if we have to make 300k every single month, divide that by 30 days. That means we have to make about 10k profit every single day in order to stay on track. So 300k seems super big, but breaking it down, making 10,000 gold a day, that actually seems doable. Now, I'm going to be going over 3 different methods based on kind of your gameplay. So it's going to go from like very beginner to more intermediate. So if you guys just want to keep watching, it will go through the different processes. You can kind of utilize all of these to your advantage. But starting out, we're going to go from the bare basics, which is the raw gold method, which anybody can do as long as you have ults. So this is perfect for the ultaholics out there, and this is using callings. Now this is a very common method already, so I'm not going to go much into it, but if you guys do not know, as long as you have a level 60 inside of Shadowlands, at their Covenant building, they will be assigned a calling every single day, up to 3, once at a time, and these callings range a very different amount of gold, but generally you get a lot of trash items by completing these, and you average about 2,000 gold per calling. So, given that math, if you're making 2k gold per calling, in order to make 10,000 gold every single day, you have to have 5 characters. So, doing 5 callings per day will net you that 10k that you need. Now, with 5 characters, yes, 5 characters is a lot to have leveled up to max level, but some of you might already have this, done. And if that's the case, if we want to average a calling about 15 minutes or so, due to the fact that we now have flying, and it's just a lot easier to get around. Also, it does depend on where these callings are taking place, etc., so it might be more or less than 15 minutes, but on average, if we want to use that, 15 minutes times those 5 characters is about an hour and 15 minutes every single day, which you have to allocate to gold making, which is these callings. If you guys want to round up due to the fact that you're going to have to be logging off, travel time, whatever, then you can say it's going to take about an hour and 30 minutes every single day to make your 10k profit. After that, using this method, you are completely good to go. Just do this once again, rinse and repeat for the whole entire month. Now, the good thing about callings is that they will stack up up to 3 every 3 days. If you guys do not know, every single day a calling refreshes, but you can have up to 3 active at a time. So technically what you can do is do this method every single 3 days, but that means you will have to be doing 15 callings in one day instead of 5 each day. So technically, you can do an hour and 15 minutes every single day, or every 3 days, you can allocate about 3 hours and 45 minutes. Of course, that is a lot, but sometimes we get busy throughout the day, so being able to do it all, at one shot, 3 days prior, that is a benefit of this, method. So basically, you're going to have to spend about an hour and 30 minutes every single day in order to make 300K a month using this raw gold method. The next method we're going to be going into is farming. Now this is actually getting into like the true gold making and gold farming that we're going to be talking about. And really the only requirements is that you need herbalism and mining, or should I say ore mining. Those are the 2 gathering professions that I'm going to be talking about and giving examples for, but you can also have skinning if that's something that you want to use, if you don't want mining or herbalism. The reason why I always match mining and herbalism together is because a lot of routes actually intersect with each other, so having both professions means that you can probably, at least increase your gold per hour depending on the farm that you are doing. But besides that, there really is no other requirement. I do highly recommend having a druid for this, just for the fact that you have mobility and you don't have to mount up a ton. So I always prefer to have those 2 gathering professions on a druid, but it is 100% not necessary. If you want more details about that, I will leave that video down below, but really all you need is to have those 2 professions. After that, there's kind of 2 methods that you can go into this, and actually you should probably intertwine these 2 methods to make the best gold possible. So the first section I'm going to be highlighting is the old world farming. So what I mean by this is any current content is listed as current content or new world types of materials, and everything from, the past expansion on, that is old world. So everything BFA and later is considered old world farming or old world materials. But before I get started, all of this data that I'm going to be talking about is using NA region prices. So EU prices might look a little different. If you're in the NA, sometimes your server prices will look a bit different, but I took the US region averages just to make sure that we can all, play fair depending on the servers we're on. So this is not going to be exact for everybody, but I wanted to just give a solid ground, make a common ground, so there we go. So what I have done is kind of just selected a few popular farms that I know of, and I'm just going to give you examples to kind of showcase to you how much you would have to do in order to make 300K. So the first example I have is Serenite Ore. This is a very popular old world Wrath of the Lich King farm, and it is just going around in a certain zone, picking up all of the Serenites, and using US region averages, that will net you about 27.5K per hour. Now what you're going to notice is that these old world items provide a lot more value per hour than the current content. Now the reason for that is because the sale rate of these, how fast they sell, is a lot lower, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but you get more per hour, which is why you're going to want to kind of balance these. But making about 27.5K an hour, if you were to do Serenite for, the whole 300K, you would have to farm 10.9 hours, which is about, rounded up to 11 hours. So technically, if you do 1 hour every single day, you can knock this out in 11 days and be good to go with item value. The next suggestion in terms of old world mining is cobalt ore. Now, cobalt, for example, an hour will average about 14.7K an hour, which equates to about 20.4 hours of farming. So that's about double the amount of hours farmed in terms of Serenite. But there is one thing that you can do to make this more bang for your buck, And with mining, you have the ability to smelt ore into bars. So I took cobalt as this example, and cobalt is special because it's a 1-to-1 ratio, which means you only need one ore to make one bar. So converting or smelting and taking the extra bit of time to smelt that ore into bars before selling it on the auction house, you turn that 64 gold per ore value into 82 gold per bar, which turns that 14.7k per hour into 18.5k per hour, which means that 20 hours of farming goes down to 16 hours. So once again, 16 hours, you could knock that out in 16 days at 1 hour each. If you play 2 hours a day, you can get that knocked out in 8 days, and then you have your 300k as long as you can sell off those ores or bars. Then moving on to just herbalism examples, if we want to farm whiptail, which is currently the region most, gold per hour farm, you can make about 24.3k gold per hour, which equates to about 12.3 hours of farming. Once again, an hour a day, 12 days, 2 hours a day, 6 days. Then you have Dreamleaf, which is probably the best-selling old world herb. So yes, this is a cheaper gold per hour, but it sells on the auction house a lot faster, and that is about 16.3k per hour, which equates to 18.4 hours, 18 days, 1 hour each, or about 9 days, 2 hours each. So as you can see right there, there is a very wide variety of old world farms. That is simply just 4 out of the, hundreds that you can do. But this is just to kind of give you that example to show you that it's actually not that hard in order to get enough item value to make that 300k per month. Of course, the issue that you run into is that you have to be able to sell the items off in order to actually get your gold. So, you might have 20 hours of cobalt farming done, you might have 300k worth of cobalt, but the issue is that you have to sell that off, and because that's an old world ore, and you have, just a ton of cobalt, that can leave you in a very rough spot. So because of this, you're going to want to mix and match. So yes, Serenite and Whiptail are making the most gold per hour, but if you just have thousands of Serenite and Whiptail, you're not going to make as much gold daily as if you would have all 4 listed on the auction house. So sometimes it's important to look at sale rate compared to actual gold per hour to make sure you are receiving sales, so that month deadline doesn't come up and then you realize you didn't sell anything. But now we're going to be transitioning to the current content, and I only have 2 examples for this. So, for example, for mining, the silver ore right now is about a 13.5k an hour. You will realize that these are much lower than the old world, but the reason for that is they sell very, very fast, which is going to be this next section. But silver ore goes for about 13.5k an hour, which equates to about 22.2 hours of farming. Then we have Vigil's Torch, which is about 8k an hour. So yes, 8k, that is very low. And that equates to about 37.5 hours of farming. So if you were, for some reason, to do, everything in Vigil's Torch, you will have to make sure that you are doubling up on your hours because it is over those 30 days. But hopefully those examples just kind of get your brain flowing, kind of get those ideas of what exactly you want to farm. But right now, I want to show you the difference in the importance of mixing and matching. So if we take the silver ore, for example, if we look on the auction house, the sale rate, the region sale rate of this ore is 0.21. What this means is 21% of these posted auctions for this item typically sell. So, let's say there are 100 silver ore posted on the auction house. That's very low, but out of those 100, typically 21 of them will sell. So once again, if you want to scale this up, if there's 100,000 silver ore on the auction house, typically 21,000 of them will sell. So that is what that sell rate is telling you. And if we want to compare that to, let's say, cobalt bars, Cobalt bars only have a 0.06 sell rate. So instead of 21% of auctions, that is only 6% of auctions. So, you've lost a ton of percentage and now you're only down to 6% of those auctions will sell. So if you have 100 cobalt bars on the auction house, 6 of them will sell. Or if you have, 100,000 cobalt bars on the auction house, then only 6,000 of them will sell. So hopefully that kind of shows you the difference between old world and current content. So yes, Serenite is doubling your gold per hour and cutting the hours of needed to farm in half, but you do have to run that risk of, am I going to be able to sell this in time in those 30 days? So what I would do is I would kind of start out with those old world, knock out some Serenite, do some cobalt, maybe do some fell iron, do some cinder bloom, whiptail, whatever. In those first few days, do your old world. Put that on the auction house, make sure you're reposting, and then when it gets to those later dates, start with that current content, that's that faster turnaround. So you're still slowly selling that old world content, and you're selling those current content ores and herbs as well on top of that. That's kind of how I would go about that, but just for that example, cobalt bars with a 0.06 and a silver or with a 0.21, that is a 250% sale increase between them. So hopefully that shows you the importance of needing to diversify, and of course, diversifying within the one group itself. So if you do want to do all old world, don't just do Serenite for 10 hours on end, do all 4 of them, or all 10 of them, or 20 of them. But also mixing old world with current content is very important as well. Then now we're going to be moving on to this last section, which is going to be crafting. Now, crafting is something that I would not recommend complete beginners getting into, and the reason for that is because you have to be able to invest gold in order to make gold. So for farming, you're investing your time in order to make gold. With crafting, you're saving time, but you're spending gold to make gold. So if you're somebody who's starting out, definitely hold off on this until you're a bit more comfortable, just in case something goes wrong and you don't have that 300k at the end of the month. But just to show you guys an example, I wanted to just bring one example to the table because I don't want this video to be super long, and just to show you the nice thing about crafting to the folks who are only farming at the moment. And for this example, I'm taking Shadowlands Alchemy. So Shadowlands Alchemy right now, potions, they're always amazing during, current content. They are normally the fast sellers because PvPers, Mythic Plusers, Questers, anybody, Raiders, they all need their potions. So for this example, once again, using that US region average prices, and I just picked the potion that was giving the most profit based on the region averages, and that is Spectral Agility. Currently, the Spectral Agility potion is making about 19.6 gold profit per potion, and that's once again using region average, so your server might look a little bit different. I know mine definitely does. But if we were to say that we are making 19.6 gold profit per potion, that means if we wanted to sell potions all the way to 300k, we would have to sell 15,306 potions, which sounds like a huge amount, and it is, but if we divide that by 30, that means we have to sell 510 potions every single day. Now, 510 potions does seem like a lot, but if you are on a high pop server, you will definitely be able to sell this much every single day, especially on reset days. Of course, some days are going to be slower than others. Right now, we are in that content drought, so some days might not be best performing, but this is simply selling one singular item. On this profit list, the Spectral Intellect also shares the amount of profit that the Spectral Agility does, give or take about a gold or so. So instead of selling 510 Spectral Agility potions, you could sell 255 of each. So 255 Agility, 255 Intellect every single day, and that will make you a 300k a month as well. But of course, that is if you want your 10k profit every single day coming from potions. But if you are a crafter, once again, that's only one potion out of the list of, 20 potions. So of course, you can get your profit completely different other ways. You might be crafting and doing farming, so you're bringing in ores, herbs that you are selling as well. You might be doing cooking, you might be doing tailoring, all of this other stuff. So let's say you only wanted a fourth of your daily gold to be from potions. So you need to make 10k profit every single day. If we take a fourth of 10k, that's 2.5 thousand, 2,500 gold. So if we needed to make 2,500 gold every single day with potions, we would only have to sell 128 spectral agilities every single day. Which, honestly, if 6 people come around, I guess there will have to be a 7th person that buys 8. But if 6 people come around and buy 20 potions each, there you go, you're good for the day. A ton of people will come around, buy 20, 40. Somebody might even come around and buy 100 potions at once, and there you go. To give you a little, example, personally, overnight, so right now I'm recording this Monday, so Sunday night into Monday morning, I sold 211 potions on my medium pop server without actively cancel scanning. So all I did for about 10 minutes, I kind of cancel scanned, I repost my stuff Sunday night, woke up, then went to school, came back this afternoon, and I sold a total of 211 potions. So if that happened every single day, I am making over what I need to in order to make a fourth of that 10k daily total. So once again, this is simply just selling 1 or 2 items. There are so many professions. Once again, if you're somebody who does have those ults, maybe you have 5 characters or 6 characters, so you have all of the professions. You can start putting all of this on the auction house, doing your callings, and you can make possibly 20k every single day. And instead of making 300k, you are now making 600k per month. This is just a scaling exercise. Really, gold making, it is exponential growth. It is the hardest at zero. Like any type of business, you can't pay for, materials. You're very worried about meeting your deadlines, all of this, but it gets easier as the days go on and the months go on. So that's really it, guys. I just wanted to bring back this method and showcase to you that it is still easy to make a WoW token every single month, despite the content drought and the token price rising. But I hope this helps you. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are giving this a try or how your WoW token a month is doing. I hope it goes well, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to support me, be sure to check out my Patreon. There are some benefits to joining that as well, but that will be in the description down below. And of course, have a good day.